everyone. Welcome to class. My name is Meredith Wolf. I'm coming to you from home. You can call it homegrown yoga at home. I am going to teach an hour of Vinyasa this evening. I'd encourage you to just find somewhere relatively quiet and comfortable and flat in your home. A mat or a rug, a towel, anything you can get a nice grip on will suffice. And if you have a pillow or even a yoga block you could keep handy during practice, I would suggest getting that now. And then I also just like to mention that I have a playlist up on Spotify if you'd like to pull that up before we get started. It's called May 2020 and it's on my Spotify under my name Meredith Wolf. Or you could just pull up really any soothing music, anything you find relaxing on almost any music source, Apple Music, Spotify, Google, anything you're using, you can find sort of something meditative and calm. So take a moment now, get yourself settled, and then when you're ready, just find a comfortable position on the mat. Maybe that's a cross-legged seat and you just evenly root into the sits bones. Maybe you sit onto a pillow or a block, or even find a child's pose. Really any way that you'd like to start your practice, and really whatever pose will help you focus the most. For me, I'll find this comfortable seat here on the mat. If you're there, the palms can come to rest face down. The eyes can close, and maybe the shoulders roll up to the ears and then down the back. Take a moment to draw your attention into your surroundings, into your body, and onto your mat. Notice any sensations you're feeling. Are you really anxious? Are you relaxed? Are you tired? Are you bored? Are you restless? Are you stressed? Whatever it is that you're feeling, just take a moment to notice it now. Know where you're starting your practice, and then that makes the end all that much sweeter. Maybe you've already begun to deepen those inhales and exhales, lengthening into that ujjayi breathing, in and out through the nose, taking full breaths in to fill the lungs all the way to the top, and slow exhales to rinse all the way to the bottom. Really honing in that breath now so that you can carry it with you as you begin to move in the class. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Deep breath in, and then rinse out on the exhale. Next one is for 5. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Deep breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breath out, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more together. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking 1 or 2 more of those deep conscious breaths on your own. Maybe taking a moment to sort of set an intention for your practice this evening, or maybe just draw to mind something that brought you a little joy today. Take one more quiet inhale and exhale. And staying in that seat with the eyes closed, or if you're in a child's pose, coming to meet us all in this seat, we're just going to find a few neck rolls here to begin. So slowly taking a breath in and drawing the head towards your right shoulder, Coming all the way around, turning the face up, and then exhaling around the left shoulder, coming all the way back to front, nice and slow. Taking a full breath in and out to make a rotation. Doesn't really matter what direction you start in, we will switch after 2 more breaths or so. Just taking it nice and slow. I don't know about you, but I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of looking at screens, either up at TVs or down at phones. It really does a number on the neck, so take a moment, show it a little love. Maybe you switch directions on that next rotation. Just using the weight of the head to do the stretching for you. Let me take 1 full more rotation. Then bringing it back to center and slowly opening the eyes. I'm gonna have to make my little friend move here. And we're gonna come up onto the knees and the shins to find an early back bend to begin. We're gonna take a camel pose here to start. So if you have a block or pillow and you know that you like some support in this pose, maybe bring that with you. I like to take my block and bring it between the thighs. You could also use a big book here as well, a nice thick book. And then the palms will either come to the back with the fingertips facing up towards the sky, or you just bring the fists to the low back, press them firmly there. Take a moment to firm up through those legs, squeezing that block or at least squeezing the legs together, and then pinch the elbows towards one another, rolling open through the collarbones. Take a breath in to look up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, begin to press the hips forward and lean the heart open, coming back to your own level of comfort. It really doesn't take much to get benefit here. Stay strong in the belly. Breath in, breath out. 1 more inhale and exhale. Hands continue to press at the low back. Inhale and slowly come back up to straighten. Exhale. Bring it to a child's pose on the mat. If you weren't already there this evening, the knees come wide, big toes come to touch, and the forehead comes to rest on the mat as the arms extend overhead. Maybe take a moment to roll the forehead slowly side to side, or just rest in at center for an inhale and exhale. 1 more here, breathe in. And breathe out. Bring it up slowly to a tabletop position. Wrists stacking under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Nice flat spine to begin. We'll take a breath in to find our cow pose, dropping the belly, tilting the tailbone to the sky, and rolling the heart open like we did in that camel. And then exhale to bow the head, tuck the tailbone forward, and round like an angry cat. Breath in. Belly drops, heart rolls slowly open. And then exhale to round and tuck. Maybe taking 2 more like that. Breath in, feel that belly stretch. And a deep breath out. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Coming back to that neutral spine, we'll find 1 more opening stretch here. The right foot is going to kick out to the side, and on an inhale, you'll peel open the left side of the body into a modified side plank. Take a moment here to begin. You're welcome to juice it up as necessary, but maybe start with that left foot pressing into the back of your mat, really focusing that left edge of the foot down, and turning that heart gently towards the sky, staying nice and firm in that bottom hand. Take a breath in and a breath out. Maybe that left arm floats towards the front of your mat if you've got the room for it. You can also lift that left leg for a little bit more. Breathe in, breathe out. 1 more wherever you are. Inhale and exhale. Breath in to take that left arm back to the sky, and exhale to come back to that tabletop position. We're just going to switch it out here. Left foot will kick out to the side. Inhale, it's the right side of the body that peels open. Compress that right foot to the back edge of the mat. Right arm reaches up. Inhale and exhale. You're pressing into that knee to lift out of that left hip a little bit. Inhale for another breath. Maybe float the arm on the exhale. And take one more wherever you are. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhaling, right arm back to the sky, and then exhaling to that tabletop once again. We'll take a final cat-cow together. Breathe in, tailbone tilts. Exhale to bow into your cat. Take one more breath in to roll open into that cow. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and press the hips back to your downward facing dog. Nice and firm in the palms, maybe slowly pedaling out those heels. You can wag the tail side to side. Anything you need to feel out this pose. For me, it's definitely the first one today, so take a moment. Eventually the heels will settle towards the mat. Feet are about 6 inches apart. I want to be able to just touch the arch of one foot with the heel of the other. And you can find a gentle bend in those knees. It'll bring some dimension into the legs, and it might help tilt the tailbone a little higher towards the sky. Chest presses towards the thighs. Firm, equal weight towards the center of the hands. Breath in, breath out. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale. This breath in will rise to the toes. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and come to the top of your mat. Find a fold here for a breath in and a breath out. On the next inhale, you'll find your halfway lift, palms coming to the shins, shoulder blades melting towards the tailbone. Exhale to bend back into that fold. Take a breath in and come all the way up to the sky, arms reaching up overhead. Today we're going to add a little twist into this. Not actually a twist, I should say. A little salutation extra. So we're going to take a breath in here at the top. And then as you exhale, spill over to one side. Doesn't matter which way you start. We're going to circle it down, grazing the top of the feet with the fingertips, and then reaching up the other side. Exhale to come back in the other direction, rinsing it out. A little sun salutation circle. Inhaling back to the top. And then exhaling through a fold, or maybe splitting the palms if you'd like. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then exhale to plant the palms, step it back to your high push-up. Taking a moment here, setting up the first one, knowing the knees can drop and the toes can lift at any time. But here in this plank, big toes touch, the heels reach back, and then you're pressing firmly into the palms, hollowing through the armpits so that you fill the space between the shoulder blades. Crown of the head reaches forward. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. One more here to inhale and exhale. Next breath in, you can drop the knees and lift the toes. Exhale to let everything slowly come to the mat. The palms will plant at the small of the waist. We'll take a breath in to lift the heart in a baby cobra. And exhale to lower down. Pressing into the tops of the feet. Take another inhale, come up halfway. Keep a little bend in the elbows. Exhaling to lower. This time our full cobra. Breathe in. Take that breath to slowly come to long arms. And then as you exhale, you can come over the knees, tuck the toes, and lift the hips to downward facing dog. Take one breath in here and one breath out. We'll flow through those together with those sun circles at the top. Inhale to rise the toes. Exhale to come to the top of the mat. Breath in to your halfway lift. Breath out to fold. Inhale to stand tall, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale in one direction or the other, graze the toes. And then breath in to come up the other side. Exhale back in that same direction you just came from and circle it out, coming all the way back up on the inhale. Exhale to fold or swan dive through center. Breathe in halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, either finding a high to low push-up with the elbows pointing towards the back of the mat, or drop the knees and lift the toes. Then we'll inhale through a cobra, maybe an up dog by lifting the thighs, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in to rise to the toes, exhaling to come to the top. Full breath in, halfway lift. Deep breath out to fold. Inhale, come all the way to the top. Exhale in one direction. Breathe in to come up. Exhale, rinse to the other side. Breath in as you come all the way to the top. Exhale to fold through center. Inhaling, flat back, halfway. And exhale, chaturanga of your choosing. Knees down or up. Breathe in, heart opens. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time through, take an inhale to rise. Exhaling to come to the top. Take a deep breath into your halfway lift and a deep breath out to fold. Inhale to lift up all the way, reach for it. Exhale to circle. Maybe you don't start the same way. Breathe in to come up and breathe out to go down. Inhale to lift and exhaling, swan dive or fold. Full breath in, heart opens, up dog or cobra. And then exhaling, hips to downward facing dog. Take a moment, maybe pedal those heels. Deep breath in. Full exhale. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. This inhale, rise the toes once again. As you exhale, come to the top of the mat. But on the breath in, you're going to lift the arms and drop the hips into your Husana, chair pose. So here in the chair, arms are lifted up, pinky spinning in, thumb spinning out. Hands can come to heart center at any time. The big toes are touching, heels are slightly apart, and then you're squeezing the length of the legs together and sinking the weight back towards the heels. Maybe lifting the toes for a breath in and a breath out. One more, inhale and exhale. This breath in, stand tall to reach up, and exhale to fold or swan dive to the toes. Inhaling to your halfway lift, exhaling through your chaturanga, any version you'd like. Breathing in and exhaling to downward facing dog. On the next breath in, the right leg is going to lift to your three-legged dog. Now, if you've been taking any of my classes regularly, you know that I don't have quite enough room here to find my full three-legged dog. So I'm finding this variation with my knee bent, either with my foot trying to stamp the ceiling or peeling the hip open. You can always find little pulses while you're here. If Amy Di Tommaso is watching, she'd be very proud of my pulses. The foot is just tapping the ceiling, like you're just, painting your foot on the sky. Breathing in wherever you are in your three-legged dog, chest pressing back towards the thigh. Take a deep breath out. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly step this right foot through to replace your right hand. This left foot is going to come to 45 degrees at the back of the mat, maybe stepping up slightly. And then inhale to lift up your warrior one as you're ready. So those right toes are pointing forward, but the left toes are angled towards that, like the left front corner of your mat. And then the hips are squaring off, but feel free to widen the feet if you need to find a little help squaring that left hip forward. Arms are lifted. Take a full breath in. Slow breath out. Nice and strong in those legs for another inhale. And exhale. Breathing in. Maybe you look up and touch the palms. Exhale to pull it through the heart. Plant the hands down. And maybe that right foot steps back for a high push-up, or you can even float the right toes as you lower. Finding your way through with the exhale. Breathing in to open the heart, and then exhaling to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Next, inhale, that left leg will lift to your three-legged dog. You're welcome to peel that left hip open on top of the right. Just continuing to square your chest towards the mat if you do so, keeping the twist in the hip rather than the rib cage. Take a breath in and a deep breath out. One more inhale. And as you exhale, left foot steps through to the left hand, setting up warrior one on the other side. Now it's the right toes that go to that 45-degree angle. And we'll inhale, lifting the arms overhead. You can always physically check in with the hips to square them towards the front of the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Another to stay. Inhale and exhale. This breath in, palms touch overhead. Exhale, they'll come through the heart to the mat. Find your way through a chaturanga, high to low push-up. Meeting in our downward facing dog, finding your way through. Maybe using that inhale to open the heart, and knowing you can skip the chaturangas and go to down dog at any time. Deep breath in, deep breath out. This inhale will rise the toes. Exhale to bend and come to the top of the mat. Breath into your halfway lift. Exhale to sink the hips into your Utkatasana chair pose. Lift the arms for a breath in and a breath out. Inhale to stand tall, lift up. Exhale to fold through center. Big breath into your halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling through high to low push-up. Breathe in to open the heart. And breathe out, downward dog. Inhale that right leg to your three-legged dog, any variation. And then exhale to step it through to the right hand, setting up warrior one. Take that inhale to lift up, palms touch. Exhale to bring them down to the mat. Find a chaturanga. Breathing in, heart opens. Exhaling, downward dog. This inhale is the left leg that lifts, three-legged. Exhaling to step it through, warrior one. Full breath in to lift up, maybe the palms touch. Exhale to bring them down to the mat. Find your way, high to low, push up. Breath in, up dog or cobra. And exhale to down dog. Knowing you can pause in a child's pose at any time, or take a drink through a glass of water, anything you need to do. If you're with me still, find that downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. One more like that. Inhale and exhale. This breath in, right leg will lift to the sky. As you exhale, step it through to the right hand. The left knee is going to drop down to the mat. And on an inhale, lift the arms overhead to a crescent moon. Hands can always come to the heart, or you can even interlace them and take them to the top of the right knee. That can be a really nice little point of resistance to help you open through the heart. But do check in, make sure that this ankle is out beyond the knee. You don't want the ankle, you don't want the knee to jut out beyond the ankle. Try to stack it just over top there. Take a breath in to look up, and a deep breath out. Maybe one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, fingertips come to the mat. We're going to straighten the front leg. Not staying here too long, just 2 breaths in this half split. Right toes can flick towards the face or point towards the front of the mat. And you're welcome to bring a block or pillow, anything you need under the leg for support. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale. One more inhale. And let it go. On the next breath in, we'll slowly come back to the front knee, rebending and tucking the back toes. And then from here, we're just gonna spin it open. Left heel is gonna drop parallel, and the arms will cartwheel up, and we'll find ourselves in Warrior Two. So you can take a moment to check in with the feet. Right heel is in line with the arch of the left foot, and then the arms will come long as you're ready, relaxing through the shoulders, equal weight in the feet. Breath in, breath out. Another inhale, filling up, and a slow exhale. Flip that from palm. Breathe into reverse, take the right arm to the sky, drop that left hand. And then exhale to stay here just a moment, still deep in that right knee. Take one more breath in to reach that right arm back. And then exhale to bring that forearm down to the thigh. Find a side angle. Maybe that left arm comes up to the sky. You're welcome to take it anywhere you know you'd like to go. But a great place to start is this forearm here. Gives you a little leverage to spin the heart towards the left edge of your mat. Inhale and exhale. Another deep breath in and a full breath out. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, cartwheel that left hand down, finding a little lunge at the, a low lunge at the top of your mat. So this left hip will now square back off onto the ball of the foot, just like a runner's lunge. Left hand will stay down inside the right foot, and on the inhale, we'll peel the right arm up to the sky, twisting out the side angle. You can always drop this left knee down at any time. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. One more inhale to reach up, and then exhale to bring that right hand down, framing the foot. Plant the palms, make sure those back toes are tucked, and on your next breath in, take the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, you can find downward facing dog or stack it through to a high to low push-up. Any way you'd like to find your way. Eventually, we'll all be in that downward facing dog before moving on to the other side. Once there, you can take a full breath in and a full breath out. One more together. Inhale and exhale. This breath in, left leg will lift, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step it through to the left hand, and then drop the right knee down to the mat. Take a breath in to lift the arms overhead, making sure that knee is not beyond the ankle, and then hands can come to the heart, to the top of the thigh, or you can even find that camel variation that we started class with, pressing the fists into the low back and pressing the elbows towards one another. Take an inhale and exhale. Another breath in and a deep breath out. Inhaling to gently release the arms overhead, and then exhale, fingertips will come to the mat. We'll straighten that left leg, either toes towards the face or towards the front of the mat. You can always add support or just use the fingertips here, gently folding forward, but continuing to reach the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Breath in, breath out. Sorry, I should say the front of your mat. One more, inhale and exhale. Slowly re-bending into that left knee. You can tuck the back toes and spin that foot flat. And then as you're ready, cartwheel the arms up and open, Warrior Two. Taking a moment to set it up as necessary. Checking in for heel to arch alignment, making sure you're nice and strong in both legs. Breathe in, breathe out. Another inhale to fill up. And exhale. Flip that from palm. Breathe in to reverse, taking the left arm to the sky. And exhale to stay here. Just one breath, still bent in that left knee. Take another inhale to reach up and open. And then exhaling, forearm comes down to the thigh. Right arm reaches up for that side angle pose. You can gently use that forearm as a little leverage to spin towards the edge of the mat. Inhale and exhale. Another breath in and a full breath out. Take that right arm to reach up for one more breath in. And then as you exhale, it comes down to the mat inside the left foot. We'll spin onto the ball of the right foot to that low lunge in the feet. And then inhaling to take the left arm to the sky to twist it out. Might have just heard my back crack there. Take a deep breath in. Deep exhale. One more inhale to open. And then exhaling, left hand comes down. You can find your way through a high to low push-up. Or come with me by planting the palms. Inhale the left leg to the sky. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Breathing in, breathing out. Eventually we'll all meet with those hips lifted in our down dog. Deep breath in, deep exhale. We'll take one more here together, catching up. Breathe in and deeply breathe out. This inhale, right leg lifts to the sky, three-legged. Exhale to step it through right away between the hands, setting up our warriors for two. Take that inhale to cartwheel the arms up, and exhale to settle into the pose. One breath in here, one breath out. This inhale, we are going to reverse and straighten that right leg, finding a reverse triangle variation here for a moment. Releasing that right hip, right arm still reaches up, no weight on that left hand. Take an inhale, exhale, one more breath in, and then as you exhale, rebend, find your side angle. Maybe that left arm stays bound slightly behind you by that right hip pocket for a half bind, or maybe that right hand drops, left hand stays behind you, and that right hand can drop down to a block or even to the mat inside the right foot. Taking 3 more breaths wherever you are. Inhale and exhale. Another deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more, breathing in and exhale. This inhale will reverse either way you want, either knee bent or knee straighten. And then as we exhale, we're going to cartwheel towards the front of the mat, finding a fold, stepping the left foot to meet the right. Take one breath in and out here, maybe pedaling out the heels, wiggling the toes, just gently releasing the hips. And then on the next inhale, you'll begin to roll up to standing. You don't have to take a big rush to get there. But as you begin to get to the top, lift that left knee and bring it along for the ride. So we have a few options here. You're standing on the right foot, left knee is lifted. You're welcome to come straight into a tree pose. That's where we'll all meet eventually. Or maybe in the meantime, you find another balance variation. I will confess I have not really worked much on my balance. I have some rickety hardwood floors beneath me, and I don't have a lot of space here. So maybe you want to challenge yourself with me this evening and come into dancer's pose. We have warmed up the hips a good bit. That left hand will come into the arch of the left foot. You can tap, it's been a while, but I'm pretty, yes. Hook the left foot with the left hand, tap the knees to touch, and then inhale, maybe lifting that right arm up to give you that counterweight. And then as you exhale, you're gonna kick that foot into the hand, lean it forward, reaching with that arm. Take a breath in and out. Maybe one more. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly coming out just like you came in. And then taking that foot into the right thigh, just for a moment in tree pose. I'm gonna step off my mat here. That might help. Just pressing that foot into the thigh, nice and strong in that standing leg. Hands come to the heart. Breath in, breath out. Maybe you float the arms to the sky for another inhale and exhale. We'll all take a final breath in together. And then exhale all the way through center to a fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. And exhale through chaturanga, any variation you'd like. Even going straight to downward dog, if that feels best. It's where we're all gonna meet with the hips lifted, heels sinking. Breathing in, breathing out. One more deep breath in, and a full exhale. This breath in, that left leg lifts to your three-legged dog. As you exhale, we're gonna step it through right away to our warrior two. Setting up the feet, right foot goes flat. Then take a big inhale to cartwheel the arms up. Settle into the pose. One breath in. One breath out. Inhale to reverse, straightening that left leg, reaching that left arm to the sky for the reverse triangle. I'm gonna bring my right arm around my back here. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you can re-bend that left knee into your side angle. For me, I'm going to keep that right arm where it was and find that half bind in the pose. You can always drop that left hand closer to the mat on a block for support. Breathing in, breathing out. Another deep inhale to fill up. And exhale. Last one to stay. We'll breathe in together and slowly exhale. This inhale, find a reverse of your choice. Either straighten that left leg or stay bent in the knee. And then exhale to cartwheel it all to a fold. At the top of the mat, stepping right foot to meet the left. Take one round of breath here to let the head maybe shake out or circle. Deep inhale and exhale. And then as you begin to roll up to standing, remember to bring that right foot along with you this time. And once again, step off my mat. That right knee will lift. If you're looking for a different option than dancers or tree, you can always peel this right knee open into what I call big knee pose. Or maybe even hook the big toe with the peace fingers. Just finding really any sort of balance challenge here. Even if that's tree, you can go straight there. Really just anything that gets you standing on one foot. So I'm going to begin to tilt into my dancers, kicking that right foot into the right hand. Gaze is forward. Maybe you wobble, maybe you don't. It's no big deal. Just come back into it. If you fall out, it's part of the process. Never going to be perfect. Take one more breath in and exhale. Then slowly find your way to tree. That foot comes to the thigh or maybe comes to the calf or even toes on the ground, heel on the calf. Finding your variation. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more here. Inhale. And exhale. We'll take a final breath in. Maybe you lift the arms up. And then exhale through heart center all the way to a fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then exhale through your final high to low push-up. Chaturanga of your choice. Breathing in to open the heart. And exhaling hips to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. One more to rinse, inhale and exhale. This breath in, right leg lifts to hip height. As you breathe out, pull that right knee forward to the right wrist, setting up for your half pigeon pose, or really any hip opener of your choosing. Anything that you know is going to do your body good this evening. I'm not there to help or to judge, not that I ever would, but I know people get self-conscious in hip openers, and now is really the time to indulge. Make these practices what you want. You're at home in a nice, comfortable space, so don't feel like you have to do half pigeon if your body doesn't want to. But if you're with me here, you're on long arms, left foot is extended. We'll take a deep breath in to roll the heart open. And then exhale to melt it down to your own level of comfort. Maybe you bring something under the forearms or forehead for support here. You can also find support under that right hip, especially if you find that you're rolling over onto it. You want to be keeping those hips square towards the mat. We're not going to stay in our hip opener too long. Just taking about 5 full inhales and exhales. Maybe trying to make each one a little longer than the last. On your next breath in, you can slowly work your way back up to those long arms. Maybe heart rolls open. And then from here, to come out, back toes will tuck, palms will plant. You'll inhale to lift that right leg, unravel and pedal or shake it out. And then we'll just switch sides. Breathe in to lift that left leg. And exhale to bring that left knee forward to the wrist. Right toes can walk back to lengthen that leg, making sure those hips are nice and square towards the mat. Take a full breath in to fill up and open, and then exhale to make your way down, settling in, finding a bit of a challenge in the hip, but never pushing yourself to the point of pain, knowing how to find that space between discomfort and comfort. But always knowing when to back off if you're putting too much pressure on the joint. Just 4 or 5 deep breaths. On your next breath in, slowly make your way back to those long arms. You can take an inhale. You're welcome to tuck the back toes and lift the left leg, or you can come onto the left hip and bring both legs long in front of you. Toes flexing towards the face, sitting evenly through the sits bones, and really engaging the back of the legs here. Take a breath in to reach up, and then as you exhale, hinge it forward, reaching for the hands or the ankles, even the shins, and keeping that heart lifted and gently opening, pulling towards the front of the feet, not rounding into the stretch here, more trying to pull that belly button gently, imaginary, towards the toes. You can imagine there's a string attached, pulling you forward, taking that bend out of the low back. One more breath in, breath out. Slowly release the feet, make your way onto the back, bringing the knees into the chest, giving them a little squeeze and rolling side to side to massage the low back. From here, we'll find one last little bit of juice before we twist things out on our backs. We're going to lift the feet to the sky, knowing that you can always skip this and find a Supta Baddha Konasana if you'd like to just chill out here. Soles of the feet touching, knees splayed apart. But if you want to do a couple of these little crunch variations, the toes are going to stay lifted, low back and hips are going to stay where they are on the mat. All the action will be in the upper body. Each one of these will take 2 full rounds of breath. And I will start by demonstrating, and you can join in with me at any time or not at all, whatever feels good. Hands will interlace around the back of the head. Try to keep those elbows opening wide. We'll take a breath in to lift the shoulders and the head, and then we'll exhale to hold right there. Then we take another breath in to crunch up a little higher, and exhale to release to the mat. Breath in to lift, exhale to hold. Breath in to crunch, exhale to release. Inhale to lift, exhale to hold. Breath in to crunch, exhale, let it go. I feel it already, great. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale to crunch, exhale to release. Breath in to lift, exhale to stay. Inhale, crunch, exhale, release. We'll do 3 more. Breathe in, breathe out to hold. Inhale to crunch, exhale, release. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, crunch, exhale, let it go. Last one. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, crunch, exhale, release. Knees can come back into the chest, or you can take the legs out long, anything that you'd like to release, maybe a full body stretch. And then from here, actually we'll find a dead bug. It's a nice way to rinse it out. Well, instead of saving that for later. So take a moment to stack the ankles right over the knees. Bring the right hand to the right foot, left hand to the left. And maybe you use those elbows to slowly press the knees apart. But then you'll begin to pull down on the feet and really focus on pinning the low back towards the mat. Really trying to root even the tailbone and those lower vertebrae down, focusing on pressing the spine to the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe one more here at center together. Inhale and exhale. And if you'd like, you can slowly roll it side to side into that happy baby, massaging the spine and trying to keep that low back pinned down as you roll. Really working that out. From here, release the feet. You can give them a little squeeze, but then the arms will come out to the side, either cactusing, bending out the elbows with the palms facing up, or taking the arms out wide with the palms facing down. We'll take a breath in with the knees here at center, and then exhale to let them fall over to the right, coming onto that hip, turning the gaze towards the left arm. The eyes can be closed, there's nothing to see. Those shoulder blades will stay evenly on the mat here to keep that twist in the spine. If you need a little support, you can always bring something between the knees. This will take a little bit of the intensity out of this twist. Take 2 or 3 full rounds of breath. On your next inhale, those knees will slowly come back through center. Exhaling over onto the left hip, knees coming to that side. And then the gaze turns towards that right arm. Shoulder blades stay pinned down. Find a few deep rounds of breath. Breathing in, those knees will slowly come back to center. The feet will come onto the mat about hip-width distance apart. If you're not sure where that is, you can bring the feet together and then toe heel them apart once. We're going to find a bridge pose. If you have a block or a pillow handy and you know you would like the support to make it a supported bridge, maybe keep that with you now. Maybe you are ready for a wheel. Anything that you need this back bend to be, you're welcome to go for it. For the traditional pose, feet are at hip width distance, heels are in close to the bum. We'll start with the arms long and take a breath in. As you exhale, press into the feet and lift the hips towards the sky. Maybe you take that block and tuck it under the low back for support, or maybe you press the hands into the mat right behind the heels and lift the hips a little higher by pressing the backs of the arms into the mat. Wherever you are in your back bend, find big Buddha belly breaths. Really dramatize that inhale and exhale, using it to help rinse the front of your body. Taking one more deep breath in, full breath out. Inhale to lift the hips, maybe off the block, and then exhale to slowly bring them down. If you have support, bring it to its lowest side. So the block would come to the lowest height, or just a pillow, anything comes under the hips, and now the feet lift to the sky. So going straight from that bridge into a supported shoulder stand. Of course, if you're near a wall, you're welcome to turn yourself towards it and just take the legs right up that wall. You've seen me do it many times. It's another wonderful variation. Or the hips can be on a little support. It's a nice little release for the low back. But wherever you are, take a few moments to get those feet lifted above the heart. Giving yourself the treat of an inversion has so many wonderful benefits for the body. Detoxifying, anti-aging, you name it. So savor these few moments, maybe roll out the ankles or have fun little movements with the legs. You can splay them if that feels nice, anything you need. We've got about 10 more breaths elevated, like so. If you haven't had music on for the last 52 minutes, now would be a great time to pull some up. Shavasana is a wonderful time to turn on some tunes, especially if you are in a noisy household. It's really nice to have some melody in the background to hone you in for that final meditation. Taking 2 more breaths in your inversion. Of course, if you're happy where you are, you're welcome to keep the legs lifted longer and come down at your own pace. And if you'd like to take this time and cozy yourself into your final relaxation, your Shavasana, go ahead and set yourself up. Maybe you really go for it and wrap a blanket around you, find a pillow, make it whatever you need it to be. We're going to take a full 5-minute Shavasana, so I will warn you when there is about a minute left, and of course you're welcome to leave me at any time, but I would encourage you to take this time for yourself. It really seals the practice. It's a great excuse to just have 5 minutes of peace and quiet, and I think it's something we could all appreciate these days. So make yourself comfortable, turn on some tunes, and lay back, and I'll warn you when we've got about a minute left. Just about 1 minute remaining. If you're comfortable wherever you are, you can stay right there for a few more moments of stillness. Or if you'd like, you may take this time to roll onto the right side and find the fetal position. I have a brief reading for you this evening. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So keeping the eyes closed for a final moment, you can make your way to a seated position at the top of the mat, bringing the hands to heart center for a moment of gratitude. I want to thank you all for sharing your practice with me this evening. I hope you are staying safe and sound at home and that you enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. Together, we'll take an inhale to lift the thumbs to the third eye and open our hearts. As we exhale, we'll bow and say, Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.